For our movement analysis project, we decided to do the baseball pitching motion. We want to help demonstrate how to do the proper technique to help prevent injury. The first phase is the preparatory phase. In this phase, the neck is laterally rotated to the left and the two prime movers are the sternocleidomastoid and the anterior scalene. The shoulders are slightly elevated and the two prime movers of this motion are the elevator scapulae and the trapezius. Both the right and left elbows are flexed and the two prime movers of this motion are biceps brachii and the brachioradialis. The right wrist is flexed and the two prime movers causing this motion are flexor carpi radialis and flexor carpi ulnaris. The left wrist is extended and the two prime movers of this are extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis and extensor carpi ulnaris. The trunk is in a neutral position. The hips are extended and the two prime movers of this are the gluteus maximus and the hamstrings. The knees are extended and the two prime movers are the knee extension and the quadriceps and rectus femoris. The ankle and feet are in neutral position. This is the end of the preparatory phase. The next phase is the initial phase. In this phase, the upper body parts stay the same as they were in the preparatory phase. The neck is laterally rotated to the left. The shoulders are slightly elevated. The elbows are flexed. The right wrist is flexed. The left wrist is extended and the trunk is in a neutral position. The hips are laterally rotated in this phase, and the prime movers of this are the deep hip rotators and the gluteus maximus. In this phase, the right knee is extended and the prime movers are the quadriceps and the rectus femoris. The left knee is flexed and the two prime movers of this motion are the biceps femoris and the semitendinosus. The right ankle is in a neutral position, however the left ankle is in dorsiflexion and the prime mover of this motion is the tibulus anterior. There is a slight eversion in the left foot and the prime movers causing this is the fibularis longus and the fibularis brevis. This is the end of the initial phase movement. The next phase is the cocking phase. The neck remains the same as it is laterally rotated to the left. The right shoulder is laterally rotated and flexed. The prime movers for shoulder flexion are the anterior deltoid and pectoralis major. The prime movers causing lateral rotation of the shoulder are infraspinatus anterior major. The left shoulder is also flexed. The elbows are flexed and the prime movers are the biceps brachii and the brachioradialis. The left wrist is flexed and the prime movers of this motion are the flexor carpi radialis and the flexor carpi ulnaris. The right wrist is extended and the prime movers of this motion are the extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis and extensor carpi ulnaris. The trunk is moving laterally and the prime mover would be the oblique. The hips are abducted and the two prime movers of hip abduction are gluteus maximus and minimus. The right hip is medially rotated. The prime movers are the gluteus minimus and adductor group. The left hip is laterally rotated, and the prime movers are the deep hip rotators and gluteus maximus. The knees are slightly flexed, and the prime movers for this motion are biceps femoris and semitendinosus. The right ankle is in plantar flexion and eversion. Prime movers are plantar flexion and are soleus and gastrocnemius. The prime movers for eversion are peroneus longus, peroneus brevis, and peroneus tertius. The next phase is the follow-through phase. The neck is flexed, and the prime movers of this motion are sternocleidomastoid and anterior scalene. The shoulders rotate down on the follow-through, and the prime movers of this motion are posterior deltoid and latissimus dorsi. The right elbow is extended, and the prime movers are the triceps brachii muscles and the insinus muscle. The wrist is flexed, and the prime movers are the flexor carpi radialis and the flexor carpi ulnaris. The trunk is flexed, and the prime movers are the obliques. The left hip is extended, and the prime movers are the gluteus maximus and hamstrings. The right hip is hyperextended, and the prime mover is the gluteus maximus. The right hip is also medially rotated, and the prime movers are the deep hip rotators. And gluteus maximus. The left knee is extended, and the prime movers are the quadriceps and the rectus femoris. The right knee is flexed, and the prime movers are the biceps femoris and semitendinosus. The left foot and ankle are planted in neutral position. The right ankle is in plantar flexion, and the prime movers are the soleus and the gastrocnemius. The right foot is in neutral position, and that is the end of the follow-through phase in the movement analysis project.